There comes a moment in every life when hesitation costs more than failure. A moment when standing still becomes the greatest enemy of progress. And in that moment, there is only one command that matters. Just take the action. Think of history's giants, not as flawless heroes, but as ordinary men and women who moved when the world told them to wait. Edison was told he was insane for chasing light out of glass. Henry Ford was laughed at for dreaming of a car for the common man. Walt Disney was fired from his first job because they said he lacked imagination. But what united them? It wasn't genius, it wasn't privilege, it wasn't even luck. It was their relentless refusal to stand frozen. When doubt crept in, they acted. When fear whispered, they acted. When the world laughed, they acted. Action is the bridge between the invisible and the inevitable. You can sit in a room with 1,000 dreams, but if you don't step forward, they remain ghosts in your mind. The wealthy, the successful, the fulfilled, they are not simply thinkers. They are doers. They understand that clarity comes in motion, not in waiting. You've been told to plan, to analyze, to prepare. And yes, preparation has its place. But understand this. Over-preparation is just procrastination in disguise. There is no perfect time, no perfect plan, no flawless moment where all lights turn green. Life does not hand out guarantees, it hands out opportunities disguised as uncertainty. Do you want the truth? Most people never fail because they tried. They fail because they never started. They wait for certainty, for permission, for a sign from the heavens that now is the time. But the universe rewards the mover, not the sitter. It bends in favor of those who dare to act when no one else will. Imagine your life as a field of untapped gold. The shovel is in your hand, but instead of digging, you stand on the soil, thinking about the best spot. Days pass, weeks pass. The sun rises and falls. Others come, dig with imperfect strokes, and strike veins of wealth while you still ponder. That's the tragedy of hesitation. You lose not because you're incapable, but because you never began. The action itself, even messy, even flawed, creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence sharpens skill. Skill produces results. And results compound into greatness. Look closely at anyone who built an empire, and you'll see the same pattern. They did not wait until they were ready. They acted, and in acting, they became ready. So I ask you, what is the dream buried inside you? What is the idea that wakes you at night, the vision that keeps circling in your thoughts? And why, if it matters so much, have you not yet taken the first step? Fear? Doubt? The illusion that tomorrow will be better? Tomorrow is a mirage. Tomorrow never arrives. There is only now, and now demands your action. Because here's the ultimate law of success. Desire without action rots into regret. You cannot think your way into wealth. You cannot daydream your way into fulfillment. You cannot visualize yourself into purpose without lifting your hand, moving your feet, and seizing the moment. Every empire started with one imperfect move. Carnegie didn't build steel with guarantees. Rockefeller didn't build oil with certainty. They built through risk, through failure, through relentless forward motion. They understood the truth that most ignore. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the raw material of success. And the only way to obtain that material is to act, to stumble, to fall, to rise, to act again. So burn this into your heart. Just take the action. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Action is the great purifier of fear. Fear cannot survive in movement. It suffocates in the presence of forward motion. The moment you act, fear begins to shrink. But when you hesitate, fear multiplies. That is why the timid grow weaker and the bold grow stronger. Think of the soldier standing before battle. His heart races, his mind screams, his body trembles. But the moment he takes the first step, sword in hand, courage begins to replace dread. The battlefield rewards the mover. Life is no different. Most people think they need confidence before they take action. They wait to feel ready, to feel powerful, to feel certain. But that is not how life works. Confidence is born from action. Certainty is a reward for those who risk uncertainty. Power belongs to those who dare to step into their weakness. Consider Abraham Lincoln. He failed in business, lost elections, suffered depression, and faced relentless defeat. Yet he acted. Again and again, he stood before the people, his hands trembling, his voice uncertain, but his spirit unbroken. And through action, through persistence, he carved his name into history as the man who held the nation together. Or look at Thomas Edison. Thousands of failures. Thousands of broken attempts at creating the light bulb. If he had waited until he had the perfect plan, we would still be living in darkness. But Edison didn't sit with theory. He acted, he experimented, he learned by doing, and every action, even a failed one, carried him closer to illumination. Your failures will not bury you. Your inaction will. A failed attempt can be studied, corrected, improved. Inaction offers nothing but decay. A mistake is a lesson. Hesitation is death. Think of your own life, the job you didn't apply for because you thought you weren't ready, the business you didn't start because you feared it wouldn't succeed, the words you never spoke to someone who mattered because you worried about rejection. Do those missed actions feel like protection, or do they feel like regret? Regret is the silent assassin of the soul, and it grows every day you choose comfort over action. Every day you wait, you're not simply standing still, you're falling behind. The world moves, opportunities move. Fortune favors the bold, not the idle. Greatness does not come to those who wait, it comes to those who move. The man who waits for the right wind never leaves the harbor, but the one who sets sail against the storm learns the art of the sea, discovers new lands, and returns with treasures. So ask yourself right now, what is the harbor you refuse to leave? What storm are you waiting to calm before you set sail? Understand this. Storms never vanish. Life was never meant to be calm. It was meant to be conquered. And the secret is not to eliminate risk, but to embrace it, to act in spite of it. Because risk is not the enemy. It is the cost of admission to greatness. Every person you admire paid that price. They acted while others hesitated. They risked while others played safe. And because of it, they built legacies that echo beyond their lifetime. Action transforms the invisible into the tangible. A vision becomes a plan when you put pen to paper. A plan becomes reality when you take the first imperfect step. And once you move, life begins to conspire with you. Doors open that you could not see from a distance. Allies appear. Resources surface. But none of this can happen while you sit in silence. And here's a truth most ignore. Action doesn't just change your life. It changes you. It rewires your brain. It reshapes your identity. Each time you act, you become someone stronger, more capable, more resilient. You begin to see yourself not as a dreamer, but as a doer. And once you identify as a doer, the world begins to treat you as one. You must decide today. Are you here to merely exist, or are you here to create, to build, to rise, to lead? Because existence requires nothing, but greatness requires everything. And it begins with this single command: just take the action.